Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here coming at you from the Knife Center, and it's our favorite time of the week because we're taking a look at the coolest new knives that have just hit our shelves. So let's check them out. All right, first up this week, we've got a couple of items that were unveiled last week at the Texas Blade Show. First is from CRKT, and you may remember from SHOT Show earlier this year that they partnered with Hogue to release some American-made crossbar locking folders, and they kind of let us know that there'd be some more American-made products in the future. Well, we've got the next in the lineup here. It is a fixed blade. This is called the Bugsy. It was designed by Kayla Cummings from the Naked and Afraid TV show. And they are partnering, in this case, not with Hogue, but with Tops Knives. Probably couldn't pick a more recognized or more respected name in the fixed blade survival knife genre. Although Essie and Tops are both up there in terms of the genre.
You're the fixed blade guy. Why are you looking at me?
I'm letting you know, and therefore letting our viewers know at the same time. They couldn't have gone wrong with either, but they went with Tops in this case. Here it is. It is a really cool little knife, kind of a compact survival knife, if you will, or just a smaller all-around outdoor knife, really. $200 for this, made in the USA, like I mentioned. You've got two versions. There is this one right here, which is kind of the more outdoor themed variant with a kind of blasted / stonewashed 1095 carbon steel blade and natural micarta handles, or a brown, whatever you want to call it. There's also a blacked out version. Black blade, black handles, and that comes with partial VEF serrations. That's your more tactical version, shall we say. And actually, I didn't check to see what kind of sheath the tactical version came with. It comes with a Kydex sheath. This version right here comes with this very nicely done brown leather sheath. Very simple, but very well executed. As for the knife, construction is likewise simple, but very well executed. Bolted on micarta handles, and it gets a little more adventurous with the shape. Blade itself, about 3.8 inches long. Got this cool drop point profile with a big semicircle. Words, man.
This is starting well.
Semicircle taken out of the spine of the blade here. Gives it a lot of character, gives a great place for really pushing down with your thumb, great place for indexing with your index finger, and what else could it be used for? Might hold a baton well if you're splitting some small stuff in a survival scenario, but it also just looks daggone cool, as mentioned. Grinds are great, the shape is great for any kind of outdoor stuff. You've got little bit of, or a good amount of belly for anything you might need out there. Strong enough tip, tough enough steel to handle whatever you're gonna throw at it. Whatever I'd throw at something this size anyway. As for the handle, it's kind of a 3.5 finger grip for me, but my hands are slightly larger than average. In fact, you can see here with the index finger groove, or the finger grooves, my fingers are a little bit bigger than the area provided. However, I actually don't find it uncomfortable. They're subtle enough that even though I'm kind of overrunning them a little bit, it doesn't feel terrible. It doesn't feel like it's pinching me or that I can't use the knife. I can certainly use this knife very, very effectively. Very, very cool. About 200 bucks, like I said, available now. Now, speaking of Hogue, we did just speak of Hogue, they released a new model, or at least a new variant of an existing model at Texas Blade Show 2, and that is the Counterstrike. Here are two of the new versions. Previously, there was the collector's version, essentially, that had a double-edged blade, very typical of an OTF design. Two new blade shapes available as sort of the regular catalog item. Here you go, Tonto blade here up top, as well as a spear point or drop point blade here at the bottom, which is kind of cool. You actually don't see too many blades that are this kind of everyday, that offer this kind of everyday simplicity as a blade shape like this on an OTF. So I like seeing that. I think it's very cool. Prices, let's talk about those. About $280 for the stone-washed blade versions and about $297 for black-coated versions. There's several versions of each of these blade shapes available, I should say. But the cool thing about these new blade shapes, especially that kind of drop point profile, is as automatics have been easier and easier to carry legally across the United States. We're not lawyers. Thomas is definitely not a lawyer. Always know what you're getting yourself into, but being able to offer some things that are slightly less tactical, even though Tanto is kind of tactical, is always a good thing. Likewise, the blade steel is a good thing. 20 CV, about 3.35 inches of it. So you got a lot of edge retention on this blade as well. Shall we talk about the handle? Well, as you can see, it is a very narrow frame. So it's going to be very easy to carry if you're able to carry it day to day. Doesn't take up a lot of space whatsoever. We've got aluminum on the back with a cool milled texture, deep carry pocket clip, which is reversible, and the glass breaker. And then the front side, we have G10, or the G-Mascus patterned G10 that Hogue likes to offer, although black is also available. Black G10, I think. Yes, there we go. We do have black G10. And this has the same kind of swirled pattern that the reverse side has, but you can't see it quite as well because of the busyness of the G-Mascus, but no matter. Fires great, feels honestly phenomenal. You folks know I love a Hogue OTF, own one. May wind up owning one of these Tanto bladed ones actually too. I'm really digging that blade, and I think it would be a very utilitarian blade too for my EDC purposes, since I am not, as you can tell, very tactical. Very cool. Like those. Prices, I mentioned those already. About $279, $278, $279 for the uncoated, and a little bit up from there for the black versions, black bladed versions. Next up, the Mini Evo from SharpByDesign. This actually launched earlier today, the day that this video is going up. They are in stock now. We have two blade shapes. You've got the drop point, as well as the compound ground Tanto with the kind of clipped harpoon point. Both M390 blade steel, so plenty of edge retention, and 3 3/8 of an inch on the length. There are a couple of handle versions. I believe there's a fat carbon option, but I don't have it here in front of me. But we do have a green canvas micarta inlaid on both sides of the titanium handle. That starts at about $375, and then we have the carbon fiber version as well. That's a little bit more. I don't have the exact price here in front of me. Both of them look good, although I'm actually really partial to the green micarta. Surprise, surprise to our regular viewers out here. The cool thing about this handle though is how clean it is. At least that's the cool thing to me. The only pin visible from the front is that pivot, essentially. It's very smartly put together. It's not an integral. You can see the seam here on the back, but it's so, so clean. You have a hidden lanyard point there. On the back side, you do see another screw for the milled pocket clip, which should be titanium, I believe. And then for the lock bar insert as well, but they're very well executed. Green feels good. Flipping action, we've got thrust bearings in the pivot here. Feels great. These are made by Riot, so you know the quality is really good. The edges are fantastic. The fit and finish is great. Available now, while supplies last, I do believe. While supplies last. Very cool knives. All right, next up, I've got a couple examples here from the Begg Knives Steelcraft line, which we were just able to bring in. First is the Mini Glimpse right here. It's a $79 knife, and it's got a little bit of weight for its size. It has that kind of reassuring heft, despite it only being a 3-inch blade. Blade steel is D2. It's very nicely done. You've got a hollow ground main section, flat ground swedge, very nearly coming thin enough where you could sharpen that up if you wanted to. You still could, but it'd be a pretty thick edge. And check that out, crowned spine too, which does continue down the swedged portion. It's just less obvious, of course. That same kind of radius is applied to the G10 handles. This G10 is really nice. It's got almost a high polish going on. Very comfortable in the hand. 3.5 finger grip for me, although if you have average sized hands, you might be able to get all 4 on there a little bit more comfortably than I do. Inset liner lock, ball bearings in the pivot. Very clean when closed up. Nice flipping action. Yeah, cool little aggressive 3-inch knife. Very sharp behind the edge, put together really well. I like the pocket clip. It's a bent clip, but you do have the ball bearing on the end. That's pretty cool. We've also got the bodegas, which on the day we're filming this, we ran out of, but we have more coming. The Quaken model, as well as this. This is the Astio. Very interesting here. 120 bucks, a 3.5 inch D2 blade with bearings in the pivot. And before you go, oh, that might be a little pricey, what it's got going on here that you don't often see in this range is the semi-frame lock. I'm actually not quite sure what we're calling this. It's not quite the sub-frame lock that you might have seen from the Kershaw and ZT stuff. That is a patented system, but in a similar fashion, you are able to get like a full contact patch between the lock bar and the tang of the knife, the way a frame lock would typically afford. But you're also able to get some of the handle material from the front side featured on the back. In this case, green G10. Several different colors G10 available on this and the previous knife. I should have mentioned that. Like the previous knife, we've also got that folded clip with the ball bearing. Not quite as, I mean, it's heavier than the smaller knife, but it doesn't quite have the same feeling of when you pick it up. It's like, oh, that's a little heavier than I would have expected. That's kind of what I get from the smaller knife, which I've already forgotten the name. Shame on me. The Mini Glimpse. Apologies. Well, let's take a look at the weights, shall we? So we have a number behind it. 4.16 ounces for that little guy right there. Meanwhile, the Astio, with an extra 1/2 inch of blade, 4.8 ounces. So very much not as heavy as when you apply the scale as the other knife is. Part of that is the Mini Glimpse has full length liners, inset I should say, but full coverage minus that inset and no kind of weight relief, no skeletonization. So you have a very solid platform, but it does add weight. Meanwhile on this, you do have the weight of that chunky lock bar, but no other liner on the G10 side on the back and no liner on the G10 of the front either. So balances out a little bit. Shall we get to the flipping action? Sounds great, doesn't it? That's because it is. 3.5 inch blade, like I mentioned, recurved Tonto profile, compound ground, fullers with the holes in the blade that make it go faster, I'm sure. Bit of a complex grind there, and between that and the locking mechanism kind of goes towards explaining the price a little bit. Yeah, it's very cool. Not really going to get any other kind of opening methods. You can pinch the blade open, but you're not really going to be able to use that fuller to reverse flick. There's just not enough kind of clearance to get in there for that. So this is a flipper only affair. So it's a good thing the flipper works great. All right, next up, we have a few new Mcustas in the house, and this is my favorite one. This is the Executive limited edition. I just squished those together.
Yes, you did.
Limited edition, the Executive folding steak knife. And yeah, the shape is great for something like that, but I just want to use this everywhere. It's an expensive knife, 260 bucks. You've got a Sanmai blade or a Sanmai style blade. So laminated blade steel with VG10 core, and you get the cool differentiation between the core and the outer layers there on each side. That looks really cool. And this thing is nimble as you move that around. Very, very cool. 3 5/8 of an inch on the blade length, full flat grind there. A hint of a crown spine too, maybe just a hint of one. It's awesome. It feels great. The handles are aluminum. You've got ironwood inlays with some sculpting, and as I move that around, hopefully we'll be able to get the light to pick it up. There's a very cool, like, kind of zigzagged peak treatment going on with them. I like it very much. You do have a pocket clip there, with the 2 retention points, and this is a non-locking knife. It is a slip joint, but it is the style of slip joint where the liners themselves have a cutout in them. So the liners are acting as the back spring rather than having a closed back spring. That's gonna make it easier to clean this out, I would think. Debris and stuff would have less of a place to hide. That's really neat. The action on the opening feels really crisp. On the close, a little bit softer. It doesn't really snap shut the way some typical slip joints can. But that's about the only negative I can think, and that's not really a negative when you think about it. It's just a personal preference. Awesome. Awesome, awesome knife. Just one of the few Mcustas we have just got up on the site, so be sure to check out the brand page. All right, next up, we've got a few Bestechs. The first is the CRKT Mothus, which was kind of the standout of, or one of the standouts at least, from their SHOT Show releases earlier this year. This is one of the more expensive versions. Actually, that's not even true. There are more expensive versions than this one. There are a few versions. This one right here is about $305. Comes with an M390 blade, about 3.5 inches, black coated, and titanium handles with some really intricate milling going on. And as you can see, a crossbar lock that works very, very well. Very, very well, in fact. Does everything you'd want your crossbar style lock to do. You've got that wrist flick action very nicely, or you can be more subtle when you like. Ambidextrous thumb disc on the spine for opening, and while it does intersect with the cutting path a little bit, it tucks about as far back as it can to keep out of the way. And if you're kind of coming in at a cut with the tip raised, it's going to stay out of the way fairly well, I would think. Kind of tucks behind the angle of the front of the handle scale right there. It's a great blade shape for everyday carry. You've got a full flat grind on that drop point, hint of a swedge here at the rear section, and a lot to appreciate about the milling pattern there. And probably my favorite detail on this knife is the way they've done the reversibility of the clip, which is great. I'm glad they maintained the reversibility because your crossbar lock is ambidextrous, your thumb disc is ambidextrous. To be able to carry it on either side is just the way I think this style of thing ought to be done. Milled pocket clip. You've got a design here that kind of imitates like a robotic skull in a way, with the 2 screws acting as eyeballs perhaps. On the opposite side, you've got a pocket for that clip to sit in and 2 more screws, and it maintains that little skull-like motif inside the pocket. So it's not gonna just look like an afterthought hole kind of milled in to the front side. Very, very cool. Very nice. And this is not just the only version. Like I mentioned, there are some others on the site. Different colors, different blade finishes. If you don't like a black finish on your blade, you can get something else too. All right, next up, we have a new version of the Nyxie from Bestech. This is a Todd Knife and Tool design, I believe. Yes. This one, $645 with the Damasteel blade. And that's not the only kind of upscaled material on this version. You've also got, check out the pocket clip and the backspacer, Damascus. Big chunks of it, which is not a cheap material to purchase or to work with in many cases. Really, really sets the knife apart though. We've got a frame lock on that side. We have ball bearings in the pivot and 2 opening methods. You've got the front flick. This is one of those ones where I embarrass myself. I could do it, but it was a little awkward for me personally. It'll slow roll really nicely, however. You've also got the thumb hole for your thumb opening or for your reverse flicking, which I'm getting better at, you guys. It's true. Opens nicely though, if you're a little more coordinated than I am, especially. Blade length 3.4 and some change. Damasteel, like I mentioned, so your performance is going to be ATS 34 / CPM 134. No, RWL 34 / CPM 154.
That whole family tree.
These things matter. Cool, aggressive blade shape, but utilitarian. Hint of belly. We'll call this a modified sheep's foot. I refuse to call it a reverse tanto. 3.5 finger grip for me on the main section. We got a nice broad finger choil that doesn't even intersect the blade edge. So you can get another finger up there, you can choke up a bit, and you're not actually touching sharp edge. You're right there, it's like right in front of that spot, so don't slip forward, but at least you're not touching it. I like that. If you don't have that kind of money, this next knife offers some things similar. A little bit bigger. This is the Slyther. I'll hold it up next to the Nyxie. You can see what I mean. There's some similarities in the blade shape there. It also kind of reminds me of like the Arcform Slimfoot, if you wanted a more budget version of that. It's not a reproduction at a lower price point, but some similarities going on. But the blade is 3.6 inches long. You've got Sandvik's great 14C28N blade steel. Love that stuff. It's nice and tough. It takes a nice fine edge quite easily too. A few different blade finishes. There's some two-tones, as well as this kind of gray coated version here, as well as some different G10 handle options. This is the black with forest green underneath. We have full-length liners. They are skeletonized to remove a little bit of weight. We have a deep carry pocket clip, which is truly deep carry. You can see right there, sticks out past the end of the handle quite nicely, and it's inset into a little pocket in the handle, and the screws are flush mounted to or into that clip. Perfect. They couldn't have done anything better with that execution right there. All the things you want to see. Nice and easy in and out of the pocket, nothing to snag and ruin your day that way. Now, as for opening here, thankfully, this is not a front flipper, so I can have a much easier time on it. We have a standard flipper and ball bearings and great flipping action. Really cool utility style here. Plenty of handle length for even larger hands. You can get a nice solid grip on it. The blade is going to stand up. You got a very utilitarian vibe going on there. This thing should work out really, really well. All right, how about some more fixed blades to end things? We started with a fixed blade, so it seems nice to bring it back around. A couple of new LOTAR designs, the Israeli designed and manufactured combat knives. This is the KARNAFF Gen 3 Ghost Mil-Spec Elite fixed blade. That's a lot. And it's pretty cool. It's not normally my cup of tea, this style of thing. The saw back here on the back is not actually saw teethed, but it, all the edges are in line, and it really is, it comes right down to an apex. It's not quite sharp, but it's, just the other side of sharp, if you know what I mean. Definitely kind of fearsome looking. I like the downward cant to the blade, that little bit of angle there. The steel here is CPM D2, so it's not your run-of-the-mill D2. It is powder metalled version of that steel, so edge retention should be about the same, but what are the downsides of your standard D2? Well, it's not particularly tough. It can be brittle, shall we say. A lot more toughness in the CPM version, so it can withstand some more indiscriminate use while still holding an edge nice and well. The handles are G10, scalloped in many places. Wouldn't want to go like carving wood with this, but I'm not really buying this knife to go carving wood anyway, am I? Definitely is going to maintain your grip on the knife. Edge is nice and sharp. Comes with a really nice sheath too. It is Kydex with some rhinoceri on the front. I wonder if that's what KARNAFF means. Language, I'm not sure actually. Plate here on the back with a belt loop with, as you can see, some adjustability in angle, so you can loosen these and rotate the clip to fit the angle you prefer. Also comes with a Tech-Lock style of belt attachment, so you can pop this off, pop that other belt attachment on. Comes right out of the box, and you have even more options. Secondly, this week from LOTAR, we have the KHATOOL Gen 2 IDF unit CT707 fixed blade. Here it is. It's $365, 5.5-inch CPM D2 blade, similar handle, similar sheath, although you don't get the Tech-Lock style attachment on this one. And this is one where, try as I might, this is a blade that I wouldn't know what to do with. And that's just being honest. I'm sure it's designed with a specific purpose in mind and is going to be quite effective. I mean, you have 3 recurved arcs on the actual front side of the blade itself.
They're just big serrations.
That's exactly what I was just about to say, Thomas.
I've been hanging around you too much.
Like a serration, or like other recurved blades that you encounter, especially on the pull cut, it's going to help kind of gather things into the edge. It kind of forces what you're cutting up into the cutting geometry of the blade. You got 3 of those things going on, meaning you get that action almost 3 times, like big serrations. If those aren't enough edges for you, check out the top. All the way back to the end of the thumb ramp, apart from the little cutouts, all the edges that rise up to spine level are sharp as well. Same kind of deal here. It's not kind of, you know, razor sharp, although it's catching my fingernail. And then this downward section here at the top, likewise, features that sharpened edge. Much more obtuse geometry behind it as well. So no matter which way you slice with this thing, you're gonna be slicing with this thing, if you know what I mean. So no disrespect intended towards this knife whatsoever. That's not my MO right here. It's just one that, from a you know, a non-tactical, practical knife user such as myself, this is something that doesn't quite fit my needs. But that's okay.
There's not a lot of bushcraft in that.
There's not a lot of bushcraft in this. You could if you had to, but I wouldn't want to. Speaking of which, we're gonna end things out with some big Chris custom knives. We just got a batch in from the man himself. The first, the outdoors person in me is much more at home right here. 530 bucks, handmade in the States. Magna cut blade steel here, 4-inch blade, perfect drop point for all your outdoorsing needs. Not too thick, it looks for like about 3/32 of an inch. Let's see if my micrometer's wrong. We have a spec, 0.83. Not too bad, not too bad. So you've got the sliciness you would want from, you know, a hunting knife. This is called the Guide after all. But you've got toughness thanks to that Magna cut blade steel and a long lasting edge and stainlessness too. As if that wasn't enough, it's a big Chris, which means the handles are oh so good. Just about perfect, whether you got big hands or small. Gotta love it. And my slightly larger than average hands, as you can see, have plenty to hold on to right there. Let's talk about the sheath, shall we? Here it is. It is Kydex. Cool pattern there. This is not Cryptek. Actually, is it Cryptek? Might be Cryptek. I'm not sure. But it's cool nonetheless. And one of the things I like about the way Big Chris does his Kydex sheaths, check out the edges. Most folks will, you know, rivet these things together and then finish the edges together so you get a nice clean seam, very even. It's harder to do what Big Chris does right here. Each one finished individually, so you've got rounded edges and yet they're still pretty much perfectly even all the way around. Definitely don't have to do something like that. It takes a little bit of extra work, and that's why I appreciate it, because it's very cool. And last but not least, one of my two favorites this week. The other being the Mcusta, and the other being this. The Big Chris Dadao chef's knife. Two food-oriented things are my favorites this week. Surprise, surprise. This is an 8-inch chef knife with the very distinctive blade shape, as you can see right here. 850 bucks for this. You've got a 3V blade, plenty of toughness to stand up to your kitchen uses, and dare I say, some slight camp tasks too. You will have to supply your own sheath in this case. This is a kitchen knife, so we didn't make a sheath for it. Actually, there's a cardboard sheath over there. It says Sharp on the side. But that is, of course, because it is a kitchen knife, first and foremost. The handles are red Fire Dog canvas. Looks really cool. I mean, I love this stuff. Has a kind of thicker weave than your standard canvas micarta, and the color just looks great. Now the balance on this knife is quite good. That pinch grip there is maybe, yeah, actually it's just about perfect in your chef style pinch grip, and it's got what it needs to do your rocking cuts and your push cuts, and it's got a little bit of weight to it as well. I wouldn't necessarily go like hacking through pig carcasses with it, but some lighter bone stuff, it could do some like light kitchen cleavery tasks perhaps. Thanks to the 3V, it should hold up, I think. Just so cool. Just so dang cool, I gotta say. Check these out. We have a couple more Big Chris's in stock, at least while we're filming this. And once these are gone, the next batch we get is gonna be completely different. So keep an eye out for those too if none of these strike your fancy. That's all I've got for today. Thanks for sticking around. If you wanna know more about these knives, or if you have something to say about these knives, drop them in the comments below. And to get your hands on this stuff, links in the description. That will take you over to KnifeCenter.com. Don't forget about our Knife Rewards program, of course, while you're there, because if you're gonna be buying one of these knives today, it sure is nice to get some free money to spend on your next one. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's Thomas behind the camera. We're signing off. See you next time.